Welcome to the Commanders Brew Stew. I'm your host, Angry Octopus, and I'm here today to show you my blue deck, Sakashima the Impostor. The main goal of this deck is to steal, copy, and imitate our opponent's win conditions. The deck is best suited for large multiplayer games which produce many funny and interesting interactions. The gameplay is very simple for the deck. When something interesting comes into play, you copy it. The best thing about having Sakashima in the command zone is that we have access to the best creature in play at all times. Let's start off with the land package. It's comprised mostly of basic islands, but a few utility lands. First is Vesuva. It allows us to copy any land that's in play. The next land is Thespian Stage. It also allows us to copy a land, but it can change throughout the game. Next are the creatures. A majority of the creatures are clones, which allows us to copy our opponent's win conditions. Some of the best clones are Clever Impersonator or Phyrexian Metamorph. Spark Double is also great because we could have multiple copies of different legendaries in play. One of my favorite creatures in the deck is Perplexing Chimera. It can take any type of spell, and it prevents our opponents from playing other spells as well. The added politics and chaos is very fun. Another creature is Chancellor of the Spires. It's one of my favorite cards ever printed in this game. It has a great value, and if there's an instant or sorcery that clones a creature in your opponent's graveyard, we have infinite Chancellors of the Spires. Next up are the artifacts. Mindslaver is a classic. What's more your deck than piloting someone else's deck? Soul Foundry lets us make more clones, which in turn let us make other creatures in play. The instants in this deck have fun interactions and do interesting things. Narset's Reversal is somewhat of a counterspell. It allows us to bounce a spell back to its owner's hand and make a copy of it. Sudden Substitution is a funny instant that replaces a spell and a permanent at split-second speed. The targets don't have to be things you own, but can be things from different opponents. Commandeer is a great card because it can be cast with an alternate cost that doesn't require mana. It could come out of nowhere and steal an opponent's win condition. Gather Specimens is a great card that takes advantage of our opponents dropping many creatures or very important ones. The sorceries have fun interactions as well. Bribery allows us to go into our opponent's deck to take out a creature that either we want to use or prevent them from using. The effect on these cards allows us to look through our opponent's deck and see their win conditions and other things they may have up their sleeve. Knowledge Exploitation is a similar card, except it lets us get instants and sorceries instead. This card has Prowl, which is a rogue tribal ability, which lets us play this card at a lower cost if we hit an opponent with a rogue this turn. The only way we can actually activate this, other than copying opponent's creatures, is if Sakashima comes in as himself, or we use Thada Adele. Acquire is a similar card except it hits artifacts instead. Blatant Thievery is a really fun card that allows us to take a permanent from each opponent. The final category is the enchantments. These enchantments either allow me to take things from opponents or copy them. Curse of Echoes is a very fun enchantment that we would usually put onto a Spellslinger deck. This will either prevent them from playing very powerful spells, or it will make the interactions much crazier. Now I want to show you some cards I want to add into the deck, and cards I definitely want to replace. First is Aether Snatch. It lets us take something away from an opponent when they cast it. Spelljack is similar, but it can be stored for later use, but still plays at the same speed it would be at. Stolen Identity is the next card. It is a repeatable clone effect that can just copy more things we want on our side. Diluvian Primordial gives us value from each graveyard, giving us selection and options. Insidious Will is a catch-all that can stop something that could just be a board wipe, or a symmetrical effect. It also lets us change targets or just take it for ourselves. Lastly is the Wall of Stolen Identity. It lets us have a copy, while limiting the use of the original if it has some sort of tap ability. Here's a list of cards I feel I should remove from the deck, and it starts with Clone Legion. It's very expensive to cast, and I don't think it's ever been relevant when it's been in my hand. I feel like I should remove most of the hard counters from the deck. They aren't on any particular theme, and they're just the standard blue fare. Prototype Portal doesn't have very many targets in the deck, so it probably shouldn't be in it. Quicksilver Gargantuan is just really big, and it doesn't really do much else. So this is the deck in its current form. Its goal is to have fun and copy and take opponents' things. I don't think this deck is very powerful. I'd say it's probably around a 6 range. This deck has fallen flat a few times. Some things just aren't worth copying, or stealing. Some things just don't synergize well when they're alone. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and share the video, and please comment so I can edit the deck for next time. If you like this content, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.